We all see it, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I can see it on my end
Yes,
here.
I can too.
Wonderful. So this seminar is a cybersecurity seminar and uh, a general talk about practices you should employ at your house, your business, et cetera, et cetera. And if you don't know who I am, um, I'm Paul Marchese from Marchese Computer. We were founded in 1981. We're the oldest technology provider in Western and Central New York. I am a proud author of three books, two of which were Amazon bestsellers. One in 2024, The Exposed to Secure Business Owner's Guide to Cybersecurity, and one in 2025, The Cyber Playbook, a follow-up to the original. So October is Cybersecurity Month. And today we're going to be talking about important things and how to protect yourself against the new breed of cyber criminal. And what I hear all the time from people is I'm too small. I have nothing they want. And the last one is my IT guy says I'm good. The interesting part about this last one is we had a friend of mine, a golf person that I golf with, call me up on a Monday, says, "Hey, Paul, I need you to come down, take a look at something. Something weird's going on with our computer network." Now, mind you, he was not a client. He was just a golf buddy. I happened to golf with at the country club, and um, it was very interesting. When I went there, one of his employees, Wayne was his name, clicked on something on an email that he shouldn't have. And it encrypted about 800 gigabytes worth of engineering drawings. Now, this is a construction company that had, 50 or 60 employees, and they were unable to do work because they couldn't get to their job files or anything. So I said, okay. His name is John. I said, John, I said, you got your password to your server? He said, sure. He gave it to me. And he also proceeded to tell me, he said, oh, my IT guy was here Friday, says my backups are good, everything is good, so we should be okay. I said, okay, let's take a look. So I logged on, and interestingly enough, first thing I checked to see if the backups were running or had run. And the backups was red. And I said, well, all right, that might be because everything's encrypted. I can't back it up. I drilled down and looked. No, actually, it hadn't backed up for a year and a half. The drive that it was backing up to had failed and was actually hooked to the machine, and it was clicking next to it. Unreadable, on anything. So he had no backup. So his IT guy lied to him. It was a hard lesson to learn, but IT guys, including ourselves, I have no problem with a client asking me a question. Hey, are you sure that this did? And here's the proof that it did. When we do backups for our clients, we back stuff up, and we also spin up the backup in the cloud to make sure that that backup is valid. Because the worst case scenario is exactly what happened to that company. They had to end up paying $25,000 in Bitcoin to a hacker to get the key to uncrypt, basically decrypt their data. Not a fun day at all for them. And, the reality is, uh, the fact is, you're not too small. You're not, you have data that they want, but you don't know it. Small businesses today are 350% more likely to be a target of a cyber attack. Why? Simply because small businesses tend to use the, yep, I bought one, set it and forget it method. And that does not work at all. You have to be proactive. You have to have an IT group that is continually monitoring, continually moving their stack and changing it to keep ahead of the cyber criminal today. That totally is the bad news. Now let's talk about how you can protect yourself and your company from these new breed of hackers. Number one, train your employees. Your employees are your number one vulnerability. The fact is that regular business insurance today, we're seeing it more and more, is requiring a, a verification that you have trained your employees. And you have to actually sign off and say, yep, I did that. If you have an incident, you need to submit a claim and they're going to ask you for that proof. You don't have it, your claim will be denied. And you have no fallback on it because you told them you did. So that was a change that happened in the past about 24 months. Most insurance companies are now requiring that. And here's some interesting stuff that I've found that is coming out. And I just took some snapshots of this. It's basically a high severity alert, fish delivered due to tenant user override. Uh-oh. It says high severity alert has been triggered. Yeah, the severity's huge. The protection, you better view the alert because, it's from Microsoft. Unfortunately, it looks like it's from Microsoft. And the problem is with most people, including myself, is you quickly scan an email and you say, "Oh yeah, that's from Microsoft." I click rather than reading it. If you notice in the upper left corner of this, it says Microsoft, and the username is Microsoft at email-records.com. Who is that? Not Microsoft. And that's what the hackers depend on. You quickly scan and say, "Oh gosh, I better do this now." Or worse yet, we're coming into the Christmas season. These are going to be very prevalent. Fake coupons from what looks like legitimate sources. Welcome to the Home Depot. And if you didn't pay attention, doesn't that look just like a Home Depot ad? They copied it literally, except again in the upper left corner, Home Depot at thecompliancesolutions.com. I'm not sure what compliance requirements Home Depot helps you with, but maybe OSHA. I don't know. But it has nothing to do with anything. And again, the, the actual most prevalent one that we've seen as of late is both Amazon and FedEx. Shipping confirmations. Hey, somebody just bought an iPhone 17 on your account. Um, we wanted to make sure this was you. Either click here or call us. And they do this. They copy the site so um exactly. And this order number is a hyperlink to their fake Amazon that asks you to log on with your username and password so they can get that too. So those are some of the easy things. But there's one more product from the hackers. I'll call it a product because really they're criminal organizations. They're designed to make things that look legit. And it's brand new tech using AI. It's called malvertising. Interestingly enough, this has come about in the past about 6 months. Cyber criminals are actually buying ad space on legitimate websites, injecting malicious code in their ads. So the question is, when I did the seminar live for Rotary Club, I said, how many of you go to a website, and when you go to a website, you have to click on the graphics for it to appear? No hands showed up, which is true. I said, so that means that when you go to a website, all those graphics populate automatically, right? So you can see the site. The answer is yep. That's exactly what they're doing. Today, they inject malicious code without you clicking on anything. And if your machine is not protected, you will never know. The sad part is regular antiviruses, Norton, McAfee, AVG, Sophos, ESET, Avira, it doesn't matter. If it's called an antivirus, it doesn't work. Might as well not even have one on your machine because you have no protection. Totally useless. Why? Because these products today simply check, uh, well, actually, I'll explain it a little better. The program antivirus basically takes a file and crunches it down into a number because computers really don't understand anything but numbers, right? Actually, ones and zeros specifically. But they'll crunch it into a number. They'll take that number and say, hey, is this number in my database of bad numbers? Yes or no? It's a simple test. It's either yes or no. Light switch is either on or off. If the light switch is off, the file is good and there's nothing wrong with it, right? Wrong. That's that's what the hackers depend on. So what they'll do is they'll change 1 1 to a 0 on that malicious graphic. The number will be different. It won't be in the database. No antivirus will see it. None. A real life story. We converted a farm. Um, they had four machines, bought it four different times, and literally they had Norton, they had McAfee, they had AVG, and they had Avast or Avira. Four different antiviruses. So before we converted them to the new machines, we downloaded the definitions, ran scans on the machines. Everything was perfectly fine. We transitioned them to new machines with our managed services on it. Within about 10 seconds, the screen was red. Um, Files were quarantined. They literally had a 0 day encryption virus that was set to launch on next reboot. Had we not been there that day, then the following day when their machine rebooted, they would have lost all of their data because they didn't even have a backup. So that goes to show you that this isn't me telling you and throwing up the red flare because I want to sell stuff to you. That's not the case. It's the true fact that these products, which we used to sell Norton to everyone, no longer work. And we therefore tell people, look, you need endpoint detection and response software like Sentinel-1 or Huntress EDR, because those products have that antivirus check to get rid of the low-hanging fruit that's bad, right? But they also look at what a file wants to do, how it wants to download, or where it's getting its data, or what its purpose is. And if it determines that purpose is not so above board, it will quarantine the file and protect you. And we have actually seen this over the weekend. That we've employed Huntress on almost all of our clients now. Somebody clicked on something they shouldn't have. And within about 20 seconds, nine background malware products were attempted to be downloaded and executed on the machine within less than 30 seconds. Um, our products prevented it, basically quarantined the machine and deleted the files that were downloaded. But if you didn't have that, they would have never known because all of those products were going to execute and stay hidden in the background and simply just keep track of every mouse click, every click on the keyboard, um, gathering your usernames, your passwords, and oh yeah, your multi-factor authentication, grabbing the tokens from your machine so they can become you no matter what without your two-factor authentication. Pretty bad. Um, the reality is it's it's not a fun time at all to be doing this kind of stuff. Uh, and these guys are bad. So to sum up that, EDR is important. Moving on, second thing you need are strong passwords. What I mean here is quite simple. Your password should be a minimum length of 14 characters today. That is the new minimum standard. They should have upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and a symbol. And they should not be reused on any sites. Every site should have a unique password. Yeah, I know. All of us save passwords in the browser. All of us, it's human nature. We all do it. It was the same thing. I asked that question at Rotary. Every hand was up. I get it. The hackers depend on this. They get into your machine within literally 10 seconds, they will have all of your passwords that you've saved in your browser because they're all cached on your computer. They're all written to hard drive. And it's so important that you don't reuse these passwords and you don't save them because then the hackers don't have anything to get to except for whatever you were doing at that moment. I think, based on what I'm seeing, that these password requirements are going to double in the next year or so. We're going to be at probably 30 character passwords in 12 to 18 months because the computers continue to get faster. With a faster computer, it takes less time to crack the password, so therefore they must be more complex. The good news is there's solutions for this. We're recommending a password management software called Keeper so you can have a product that maintains all of your passwords. It's encrypted and it's tied to you only. And you only need to have and remember one password for your manager. And here's the cool thing, that manager can be told, hey, all these websites, all these things I log into all the time, I want you to go out and change those passwords every hour. And I want you to use a 100-character password in them. And it'll do it automatically. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to remember anything because it's all in your Keeper password. That's it. And the cool thing is it works on your cell phone, works on multiple devices. That's where we're going because of this requirement. Um, Secondarily, you need to make sure your machines are updated, your network is updated, your firewall is updated, and any other system that you connect to the internet is regularly updated. That includes your cell phone. I'm less worried about cell phones because they tend to not, iPhones are pretty well the most hacked device out there because people tend not to worry about updating them, but they'll be used as an attack vector on your network. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, we all have a network. Even if you don't think you have one, you absolutely have one. You go to your house, you have internet at your house. If you have more than one device on it, it's a network. So that's what they're doing is they'll attack a phone or grab into the phone by a text message that you click on that you think was from a legitimate person, but it wasn't. They'll infect the phone and wait till you get home so they can attack the rest of your network. So that's how the hackers are doing it today. So there's no such thing as a set and forget device. And we talked about backup. You need to make sure you back up. We recommend 3-2-1 method. 3 copies on 2 different sources, and one should be an encrypted cloud backup. And I get asked all the time, how should I back up? Well, what should I use to back up? How often should I back up? Those are great questions. And there's not one answer to that set of questions. All of those set of questions are dependent on what your level of requirement is, or I call it pain level is. If you're a business and your office is down and 20 employees can't work, that costs a lot of money if you're down for a day or two. If you're a home user and your computer's dead for a day, that's much less problematic. So there's 2 different methods of backup there. They should still use that same 3-2-1, But maybe in the home user case, we're backing up to an external hard drive, plugging it in once a month, copying our files down. And then we're also making sure that we have our important files on the cloud, whether it be OneDrive, Google Drive, um, iCloud, whatever, making sure you actually have your data somewhere outside of your normal business or home presence. And how often should I back up? Well, this leads me to another story that it's quite interesting. About 2 years ago now, maybe not quite 2 years ago, a year and 3 quarters, uh, uh, a business of ours that we do the managed IT for, called the Firing Pin in Bergen, um, caught on fire. And the actual reason why it did is their firing range. Somebody's in the firing range. A round hit the back metal plate, pushed a spark up into the rafters. In a firing range, the air must circulate and be changed out every 60 seconds. So that means there's a lot of oxygen coming into that. That spark hit a dry rafter, caused it to catch on fire. The whole thing was engulfed in about 30 minutes. Our backups were scheduled hourly for them. We backed up at 5:30 p.m. The data was sent to the cloud at 5:31. Within about 2 minutes, it was up there, and at 5:35, the fire department cut the power and put about 100,000 gallons of water on the building. Destroyed all of their electronics because water and electricity don't mix too well, and nor computers. But the shining light in this was we had the backup. And yes, it was an encrypted cloud. We had them up and running in 24 hours in our data center. No data loss. We were able to get them back up and running next day in another building. That's because we thought about and made sure that we had all their bases covered and made sure that um, their backup was valid so that we wouldn't have to worry about it. I like to sleep at night personally. So it's one of those kind of things where um, it makes me very happy that ended up where you were. The next thing we talked about firewalls. Use a good firewall. Home users are different than business, but in business, we recommend a business class firewall. SonicWall is the probably one of the premier ones out there. That's what we've been using for over 25 years, and zero of our clients have been compromised. So, you can certainly at home buy a Walmart or whatever, router, but understand that all of those need to be updated regularly. It's not a set and forget. Even the consumer stuff has regular updates to their firewalls, and you need to do those, and most people don't. Last but not least, and I talked to Jennifer offline before that, in memory of end of life October 14th, 2025, Windows 10. It's the end of life for Windows 10. Does this mean your machine's going to blow up tomorrow? No. This means that Windows operating system isn't going to get any more updates, security, anything, leaving it totally vulnerable to hackers. They hope you'll ignore it and give them full access to your machine and data. And I realize that some companies have a Windows 10 machine that's on a dedicated, like a CNC machine that makes parts that you can't change. That's okay. If it's isolated, not on the internet, you're good to go. You can continue running a system because it was never going to get um, hit by any outside uh, company or any outside hacker. That's how you mitigate that is you isolate the machine and or you move to Windows 11 and be done with it. And oh, by the way, I had a cousin of mine said, "Well, I'm glad I moved to a Mac. Macs are just as vulnerable. If you don't update them, you will be compromised as well." And they're exactly the same. Macintosh operating system is based on the same Linux core as Windows. So a lot of people don't know that. To summarize this whole thing, you need to train your employees. You should create an acceptable use policy and enforce it. Didn't really talk about that, but an acceptable use policy basically is a business protection so that your employees know that they're not to basically mess around with your machines, whether it's on a lunch hour or not. Require strong passwords. Keep your networks up to date. Have an excellent backup. Don't allow employees to download unauthorized software and don't scrimp on a good firewall. And lastly, replace or update your old Windows 10 machine with Windows 11. And that is the whole thing. Any questions?
I think that was wonderful, Paul. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Glad to
Um,
I
go
sorry.
ahead.
I mean, I agree. It was very informative. Okay, so we use you guys Marchese through for most of our equipment here. I just don't know. Unfortunately, Greg is the
Yep. Yeah.
contact, and I don't know exactly what we have, but I guess we're gonna have
Well,
to
yeah.
look into
I
that.
from the internet end, you go into a Sonic wall, and all of your machines are on our managed protection, so you should be um, as protected as you can be. There's nothing 100%,
Right.
but we'll know about it long before usually you will, and
Okay.
it'll be mitigated before. I'm not. I like I said said earlier, I like to sleep at night and not worry about
Mhm,
these things, and that's what
mhm.
our goal is for all of our clients. We
Yeah.
want to remove the burden of IT from their plate so they can just concentrate growing their business. That's it.
Right. Okay. Yep. I mean, to me, the biggest thing is something coming in an email and somebody clicking on it.
Right,
And
and that's the employee training piece. We use a product called Curricula. If we haven't done that for you guys, it's a cost per person to do, and it's well worth it. And actually, my
okay.
guess is your business insurance probably requires you to do that these days.
Okay. All
Um,
right. Well, we should do that then, because I don't think we've ever done that. And unfortunately, the person who spends the most time on the computer is Dottie. And honestly, she doesn't understand computers. And that's why Christina and I signed up for this, because she
yep.
passed this right off to us.
Ah,
But she's our biggest risk.
yeah, and she's the one who's gonna
Be out in a minute.
accidentally say, "Oh yeah, I need." Oh, that's terrible. I better click on this. I get it. I know.
Yeah. So I definitely think we need to plan a curricula thing.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, she's having hip surgery in like 2 weeks. Unfortunately or fortunately, But I mean, so it's
Well,
going to be hard to get this done, I think, before that.
right. No, no. Curricula is an ongoing thing.
Okay.
It's not one and done. It's over. It's a continual process. They'll send out trainings on a monthly basis and basically try to get you to click on things. And
Hmm.
then if you do, it'll take you into a, hey, this is you shouldn't have clicked on this, but here's why.
Okay.
Yeah, it explains it all. It's kind of cool. Very
Okay.
helpful
Hmm.
because it's a learning kind of thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I definitely think we need to look into doing that. But anyway, we can talk about that.
Okay.
And I think Greg is working on getting her computer updated because she has Windows 10 on it,
Okay. Yep.
and he's actually looking into getting a whole new computer.
Yep. We have them in stock, so that's not a problem either.
Yep.
Whether it be a
So,
laptop or a desktop, 615
yeah,
doesn't.
right. Okay. Okay. But so yeah. I mean, I was interested in this, mostly for work, but also for home and, you know, it's I don't know. There's so much crap out there.
Oh, there is.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah.
But No, I think
Well,
it was
I'm
very
glad you
good.
took advantage of it.
Mm,
Awesome. I'm happy it was helpful.
yes.
And thank you, Paul, again for offering this and all of your expertise
Yep,
and some of the
no
scary stuff
problem.
and some of the standard stuff.
Hmm.
Not a problem. I'm glad to offer my services. And, if you guys, if the chamber wants to do a monthly kind of series
Hmm.
on some type of cybersecurity that your members, say, hey, I'd like to learn about, let me know. And I'm glad to put together a monthly series on, what your members want. Um, Glad
Okay.
to help. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
to me,
can
it's not about selling anything. It's more about education. Um, the more
right.
people I can
Yeah. And
educate,
that's
the better off we're all gonna be.
yeah, exactly. And especially when you had said what you said about the malvertising, like that's just scary.
It's brand
Hmm.
And
new.
I mean, yeah, like
The first, yeah,
that's
the first ones that we saw, was like, you clicked on. I did not click on anything. Well, turns out they were right. They didn't. And
yeah,
like I said, artificial intelligence is allowing the criminals to speed up development of bad things.
Hmm.
And
yeah,
Okay.
by the way, AI is a big hot topic that for your business, AI is really cool. I mean, the ability to
yeah.
do things and to say, hey, I would like to put together, we'll use Merle Maple, for example. We have a new product. It's called Ghost Pepper, um, Ghost Pepper Maple
Hot
Syrup.
sauce.
Great.
Yep.
Hot, sweet,
Yep.
and I want to you go to chat and say, look, here's our logo, here's a picture of the bottle we're going to use, and here's a picture of the label. I'd like an advertisement, something I can post online that has flames around it and to highlight this product. And in about 8 minutes, Chad will come up with a graphic for you to post. It's cool as all
Mm.
get out. It almost is it's going to eliminate the graphic designer kind of person that was freelance because chat can do it. And the cool thing is, if you don't like it, nah, that's great, but can you put this in here too? And yeah, actually, I wonder if I could pull that up. um I'll show you what chat made the other day. Let's see here. Pictures.
Are
No.
there any concerns on your end when it comes to cybersecurity with AI? Because I know
If
it's
it's
I
used correctly, the answer is no. If
okay.
you're using it for just to create some graphics,
'Cause I know a
let's
lot of
see.
people use like Chat GPT and things like that when it comes to creating something like an ad or creating a press release or something like that, things like that. Um, but
All right.
then the visual stuff you're talking about, like
So
creating
there you
like
go.
that kind of stuff, I don't
That
know if
was
it
created by
pulls
chat.
things.
You can see that?
No.
Yeah.
Not yet, no.
Really?
I just
No, it
see
still
your
says
question
questions.
slide.
All right. So let's take a look and let me just share that. Now you can see it.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, yep.
That was created by chat.
Yeah, that's cool.
I
Hmm.
fed it a postcard that we were doing, and I said, "Hey, I need a cool looking ad based on this postcard." And it
Hmm.
didn't originally have the Windows 10. I said, "Hey, can you throw in a tombstone with Windows 10 end of life?"
Yeah,
And
right, right.
and in like 2 minutes, it did that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That
And it's
is going
also,
to
and you can tweak it.
eliminate a typical graphic designer because I'm certainly not a graphic designer, but I'm telling you right now that blew me away.
Yeah.
And there's some products, Gamma is one of them, that can take a proposal and make it into a presentation. 10 slides, a slide deck. That also blew me away. Matter of fact, it flipped a switch on a client that I've been trying to get in Buffalo, that actually their owner clicked on and looked at it and then sent me questions. So it works. It's all
Yeah,
about
that's great.
looking at the perspective person and how they want information. And the cooler you make it look, I guess the better off you are. Yeah. It's kind of neat. Um,
Mhm.
um, to me, it's just, I don't know. It is
Well, it's
what it is.
helpful. And I think when, especially with small businesses, when you are your own marketing person, you are your own financial advisor, you're everything, right?
Yeah,
Saving time and not having the cost of, having a digital uh, team, right? Um,
right. Well,
that's a
small
benefit,
businesses typically
it's
don't
also it,
have
right,
you
right.
gotta pay for it, right? And somewhere.
Yeah,
And for $20 a month, I have a pro license on Chat GPT that has no
yeah,
limits. Now,
right.
again, if you take the time, I've probably spent 100 hours on chat now, training chat in my voice. I fed it all the things I wrote in the books, and it
Mm,
understands how I think and talk. So
Mhm.
I can
crazy.
say, okay, I need this email rewritten in my
Yeah.
voice and include this, this, and this, and
So are we
it'll
actually
spew me
talking to
out
you,
an
Paul, or
email.
is this a bot?
You know, so it won't look like a bot because I'm writing it in my voice.
Hmm.
Right, right.
So that's the
Yeah,
key. But you have to take the time to train it. And the AI bot things are all, they all got all those stupid little, fancy little graphics in them. I tell it not to use any of those because to me, I don't want it to be bot. I just want it to be rewritten um, in something that's easily understood and maybe points set out with dots, standard dots, not any fancy graphics. Uh,
right.
yeah, a lot of people don't understand that AI overuse is bad, and but AI is
Yeah,
a
there is
tool that
a
everyone should
happy
be using
medium.
today.
Yeah.
Just because
It's
it
a great
it can it can make
tool.
things easier on you. That's all.
Sure. And
Anyways,
that's what we all need,
guys,
right?
have a great day.
You
Yeah,
too.
thank you, Paul.
Thanks, you too.
And Thank,
You're welcome.
thank you, Eileen.
All
Yep.
right. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.